Okay, just finished watching the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and got my thoughts all sorted out and everything. Well, sort of. Really, you could have called this the Dusty Rhodes Memorial Show, because that's basically that was kind of the thread running through the night. Obviously, with Dusty's passing, and they ran they opened the kickoff show with the announcers there, Renee Young, Byron Saxton, Corey Graves, and Booker T, each talking about it. Corey Graves got very emotional, and emotional like I haven't really seen him. He wasn't always the cocky guy there. He actually kind of teared up a little bit. And later on, this was after the warm-up match, they ran the Dusty tribute video, and after that, Renee Young was supposed to throw it to Tom Phillips in the social media center, and she couldn't do it. You could hear her voice just cracking, and I can't remember if someone else stepped in to do it, but yeah. And then they began the show proper with the 10 bell salute, and then they ran the tribute video one more time during the I think it was just before the tag team title match. Everything that can be said, I think, has been said at this point. Dusty had such an impact. He will be missed, and when you talk about his proudest achievement was helping to train the next generation, especially down at NXT, and the impact he had on guys like Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and who's leading the company right now, Seth Rollins. So yeah, let's get to the matches. The pre-show match was R-Truth versus King Barrett, and this King of the Ring push he got, Wade Barrett got, is it's really working for him, ain't it? He's worked the warm-up show, I think, 3 times out of the last 4. And right now he's working an angle where, because R-Truth wore his cloak, it was soiled, and now he has this new ring attire that he came down to the ring with. The cape for the royalty and the crown thing worked pretty well, but he had this weird, like, wannabe knight in shining armor top thing. It just looked stupid. And on top of all this, I have in my notes here that he looked like the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. Not only that, this is how much they cared about the match. About 90 seconds in, they ran a promo for the new season of Tough Enough. So this is the most noteworthy parts of this match. Nothing that actually happened in it. Everything around the match was interesting. And eventually, Barrett went for the bullhammer 3 times. Truth finally countered it enough that he got into a crucifix pin and got the 3 count. So yes, the King of the Ring winner has not really done anything since winning King of the Ring. He was in the Intercontinental title Elimination Chamber match, but he was, what was he again? Was he like the 1st or 2nd eliminated? Just a sec. Let's see. Yep, Barrett was the 1st eliminated in that. This is not boding well for a King of the Ring winner. You look back. Yeah, you had one is where they really didn't do much. Ken Shamrock, I think you could argue, didn't really get a big time push after he won. Billy Gunn didn't really do anything after he won. But this is different. Again, not a very good match at all, and not befitting for a guy you're supposed to be pushing. Have him win. Anyway, now on to the show proper, and, well, they start the Money in the Bank pay-per-view off with the Money in the Bank ladder match with Neville, Kane, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Kofi Kingston, Ziggler, and Sheamus. You know, I think since the WrestleMania ladder match, I think they've tried to dial back a lot on some of the big spots. There just weren't that many of them. There were a few, but there wasn't like a lot of the. Yeah, I don't know if you're probably ever going to see Edge spearing Jeff Hardy from the ladder on the like that anymore. I don't think you're going to see spots like that again. That being said, there were quite a few spots in this one. Kofi tried to sneak into the. Everyone was fighting, and then Kofi basically slipped. Kofi Kingston slipped out, grabbed the ladder, tried to sneak it into the ring, and this basically resulted in the other 6 guys beating up on him. After a while, Roman Reigns brought a second ladder into the ring, only for Sheamus to take it from him. Neville did a monkey flip with Kofi onto the ladder, but basically that just enabled Kofi to land on the ladder and begin climbing it up, forcing Neville to climb up and stop him. Probably one of the big, you could argue maybe the biggest spot proper in the match, involved Sheamus, I think, set the ladder up in the corner, with the turnbuckle and everything, and Roman Reigns powerbombed Kofi Kingston onto that ladder, and then powerbombed Adrian Neville onto Kofi Kingston on the ladder. Kane chokeslammed Reigns off the ladder, because if Kane's going to be in the ladder match, he's got to chokeslam someone off the ladder, right? Orton hit an RKO on Neville off the ladder. Ziggler hit the zigzag on Sheamus off the ladder. Again, it's kind of be expected. When Ziggler hit that, though, he landed really awkwardly on his shoulder. I don't think he hit that very well. Another point, Kane did a baseball slide, kicked the ladder into Ziggler's face. At this point, New Day came down to the ring and began helping Kofi try to get into get up the ladder, but Roman Reigns came in, cleared him out, took it, and powerbombed Kofi onto the other competitors and the New Day. And Reigns started climbing the ladder. He was the last guy there. It was his. Just like everyone said it was going in. It was probably going to be Roman Reigns winning it. And then suddenly the screen begins to get fuzzy. It clicks out, and Bray Wyatt is standing in the middle of the ring. And he pushes over the ladder. Reigns falls down. Excuse me. Wyatt takes Reigns, hits the Sister Abigail, and walks out. At this point, Sheamus gets into the ring, sets up the ladder, begins climbing. He's got no one near him, and then suddenly Adrian Neville climbs up and starts hitting him. But at this point, I think the writing was on the wall. You knew Neville wasn't going to win this. Yeah, he and Kofi Kingston were in to be the big spot guys. Nothing more than that. And Sheamus winds up winning Money in the Bank, which, again, was a real shock. A genuine surprise. Excuse me. Yeah, like I said, genuine surprise here. Like I said, most of the everyone's saying it was probably going to be Roman Reigns, because they were setting up the Brock, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins triple threat at SummerSlam. But yeah, again, Sheamus winds up winning this. I wonder how that's gonna shake out, because again, I think this does lead to a few possibilities. I mean, I'm not exactly enthused about Sheamus winning, but again, it was at least unexpected and could lead to something new. And that brings us to the next match. Again, the calm down match after this, the Divas Championship. Nikki Bella versus Paige. Now, when Nikki was introduced, Brie was not with her at this point. They've been setting up the whole twin magic thing, even though Brie and Nikki don't look that much alike anymore. You could say the obvious, which is Nikki got breast implants, but the other thing too is Nikki's got blonde highlights in her hair. Nikki's got blonde highlight. Brie is still a straight brunette. I mean, the last time they pulled the twin magic thing, they frosted Brie's tips, but it wasn't that convincing. Anyway, early on, Paige hit a rolling senton onto Nikki. Nikki rammed Paige into the ring apron. Paige hit a running knee into Nikki's chin, got a 2 count out of it. Paige hit a super kick for a 2 count. Nikki hit a spine buster for a 2 count. Nikki went for the rack attack, but Paige countered and hit the Rampage for a 2 count. Paige tried to set up the PTO, but sorry. Anyway, Paige tried to set up the PTO, but something caused her to break it. I don't remember exactly what. I think Nikki rolled out of it. It was actually a pretty good move, but yeah. Then Nikki managed to roll out the ring. They set up again the switcheroo with Brie, except this time Paige was sort of expecting it, and Brie. When Brie rolled her up into the small package, Paige managed to roll through the small package into a small package of her own. They count the 3, at which point Brie starts pointing out, I'm not Nikki, look. And she starts pulling tissue out of her top. Again, the obvious. And the other thing she was trying to do is direct it because she has a tattoo on her, well, her lower waist. Exactly. And it's like, one... And she's pointing it to the ref. She didn't quite drop her not shorts, the lower part of her tights all the way down, but it was enough that you could see the top of the tattoo. And she's like, look, like, you really think he's going to spend time looking down there to verify who you are? On top of that, if you are who you say you are, if she is Brie Bella, she's married. PG! I thought WWE was supposed to be PG. Like, you got a woman practically flashing a guy. That's not even the half of how stupid this match was. Oh, by the way, after this, Nikki got back into the ring, hit the rack attack on Paige, and, yeah, got the 3 count for the win. Big shock. But again, they're sort of setting up that Paige wants to take down the Bella Empire. This has got to stop. We've got to stop the Bella. But no one wants to help her, and yet they cut to this one scene where all the other divas are surrounding the TV in the back to watch the match, and nothing comes of it. Again, like, you could have had a title change, which would have been refreshing to see even at this point, even though it would have been Paige's 3rd title. You could have had, when they tried to pull the twin magic thing, have all the divas come down to the ring and just point out that, hey, that's not Nikki, that's Brie, and beat down Brie, and then, forcing Nikki to get back into the ring somehow, and then Paige hits the Rampage or something for the win. That could have worked. That would have worked well, but no, they didn't want to do that. Instead, they just have this pointless cutaway. Oh, boy. Yeah, sorry. But you want to talk about what was actually the worst match of the night? It was the next one. The Intercontinental title match between Big Show and Ryback. Admittedly, how enthused can one get about a Big Show and Ryback match? But they did actually do a unique build-up with this, having The Miz basically interjecting himself to the point that he's angering both the Big Show and Ryback. And because of that, The Miz comes down to be guest commentator. And almost right away, Ryback hit a meat hook clothesline on the Big Show, and then Big Show basically rolled out to the floor, and then Ryback goes out and basically goes after Miz and throws him over the announce table. Ryback hit a suplex splash combo for a 2 count. Big Show chokeslams Ryback for a 2 count. Big Show hits the knockout punch, but knocks Ryback out of the ring, and then Miz interfered for a DQ. Yeah. Like I said, the 2 weeks they built up the feud. And again, I don't know how enthused one could get over that, but they did at least a reasonable job, especially utilizing The Miz, who's the most charismatic of the 3. But, if that's the case, bringing in a triple threat match or something, like, just a fart of a match on that last one. After that, we have John Cena versus Kevin Owens. The crowd was pro-Owens pretty much this entire match. I mean, there were some Cena fans in the crowd and everything, some prominently seated, but, they tried to do the "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks" chant. And normally it's kind of 50-50. In this case, I would say it was more 66-34. It was more like that. The crowd was definitively in the pro-Owens sense. Like, you could barely hear the "Let's Go Cena" part of it. They talked about how Cena was apparently targeting Kevin Owens' nose because his nose, I don't know. There was a point where Owens began copying all of Cena's moves. He literally hits all of them except for the AA, and he hits, including the 5-knuckle shuffle. They didn't do that part from the last match, but Owens did go for the AA. Cena countered it into an STF. Owens then hit a code breaker on Cena for a 2 count. Owens hit the cannonball in the corner for a 2 count. Owens went for a senton. Cena countered. Cena hit the AA for a 2 count. He got angry at the ref, and Cena got angry at the ref and started. Excuse me. He started arguing with the ref, and I thought that was maybe going to set up to something, but it didn't. Owens then went for a springboard moonsault. Cena hit the AA for another 2 count. Again, Cena starts arguing for the ref. This leads to nothing. I'll flip this over. Sorry. Cena locked on the STF, but Owens got to the ropes. Cena hit a sunset powerbomb. Rather impressive for a 2 count. Owens hits a pop-up powerbomb for a 2 count. Owens then hit the springboard. Not Owens. Cena hit the springboard stunner, and then followed it up immediately with the AA. Got the 3 and the win. Basically, this was just a copy. It wasn't point by point, not complete copy, but yeah, they basically just copied the Elimination Chamber match. It didn't. It was an okay match, but it just kind of, yeah, it was lacking a little bit because I had seen so much of it before. I will say this: better use of the springboard stunner this time. Maybe they actually watched the Stone Cold Paul Heyman podcast where Austin talks about how, I don't mind that Cena does the springboard stunner. It's just he does it and then the guy kicks out after it. It kind of de-emphasizes the stunner as a finishing maneuver. At least in this case, he used it to set up his finisher. That kind of worked. So that's at least one positive point to take away from this. Sorry about the big delay there. The cat decided she wanted to interject herself for some reason. I guess she's a big fan of the New Day and the Primetime Players facing each other for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Or not. It's the best segue I could think of, folks. Sorry. Anyway, Xavier and Big E came out. No Kofi Kingston. Probably a good thing. Kofi did kind of take the brunt of the ladder match, so I'm at least willing to give them a good reason for him not to be part of this. Early on, the New Day basically just dominated. They beat up on Darren Young. They just kept cutting him off. Every time you get something of it, they start reaching for Titus O'Neil, but then they pull, Woods and Big E would pull him back. Eventually, Big E did the spot where he rams his shoulder into the ring post, and that enabled Darren Young to tag in Titus O'Neil. Sorry. He tagged in Titus. Titus worked the rest of the match after that because not much. Even though there was this point where Big E speared Darren Young out of the ring, it provided enough of a distraction for Titus O'Neil to hit the... What? Yeah. Well, if you wanted to watch the tag team title match, you should have come in here and watched it with me. Yes, but right now I gotta review it. Okay, anyway, O'Neil hit his spine buster, which, I can't remember what his finisher's called at all, I'm sorry. But he hit the spine buster on Woods, got the 3, and the Primetime Players are the new tag team champions. Admittedly, yes, they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Admittedly, I'm somewhat surprised by this. Not that it wouldn't work. They don't work as a tag team champions. It's perfectly fine in my book. But God, sorry, she won't shut up. Yeah, you won't. Okay, you're going upstairs now. Mm-hmm. Sorry again. She just won't shut up for some reason. Okay, it's quieted down now. Every time I stop, she just... Cat! Okay, where was I? Tag team player... Primetime Players won the tag team championships. Bit of a surprise in the sense this was such a short match. I think they proved that they could work a decently length match in the Elimination Chamber, but I guess they wanted to have more time for the ladder match, and... Well, this, I guess, got the short end of the stick. Maybe they should have had it worked early on. Maybe they could have had a bit more time and just had the shorter Divas title match. Anyway, hopefully I can get this done before the cat shows up again. That leaves us with our last match of the night, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Now, if you know anything of... Not Seth. Yeah, Seth Rollins. Boy, I blanked on that. I wanted to say Roman Reigns for some reason. The big rumor mill that's been going around, too, is that they're going to turn Dean Ambrose heel here. So, at the beginning of the match, Michael Cole pointed out that, oh, Ambrose isn't all like Rollins. Ambrose never turns on his friends. It's like, foreshadowing? Again, could that be foreshadowing? This was a pretty mundane ladder match, at least for the first part of it. A few points to note. Rollins tried to do a suicide dive through the ropes. Ambrose basically held up the ladder, causing Rollins to fly right into it. Ambrose then hit an underhook suplex onto the ladder. Ambrose then set up the ladder in the corner, did a bionic elbow smash off of it in tribute to Dusty. He even did the sign. Let's see. At that point, Ambrose started climbing the ladder, but then Rollins managed to get a steel chair and began hitting Ambrose repeatedly in the knee. Rollins locked in a figure four around the ring post. Excuse me again. Ambrose tried to go for his rebound clothesline, but Ambrose tried to do his rebound clothesline thing off the ropes, and Rollins basically just threw the ladder right into his face. Rollins again began targeting Ambrose's knee with the chair. Eventually, Ambrose managed to get another rally. He hit a lariat off the top rope. Ambrose then hit a big back body drop. Oh no, Ambrose and Rollins have fought through the crowd. Rollins made his way back to the ring, began setting up the ladder again. Ambrose came in, set up another ladder across using the ring. I can't remember, was it the announcer's table? Yeah, I mean, he set the ladder up like a bridge, and he back-bodied Seth Rollins onto the ladder. Ambrose then hit the Dirty Deeds on the Spanish announce table. Ambrose began climbing the ladder, but Rollins again starts hitting him in the knee, this time with a TV monitor. Rollins started to climb the ladder, but Ambrose pulled him down and out of the ring. Rollins then piled a bunch of chairs onto a ladder and powerbombed Ambrose onto it. He then powerbombed Ambrose into the ring barricades twice. Rollins started to climb the ladder, but Ambrose actually rallied again. He began climbing up the same side as Rollins. He wriggled his way underneath. Both Rollins and Ambrose got their hands on the belt. They both pulled the belt off. They then fell off the ladder, and as they fell, they hit the ground, and Ambrose couldn't hold on to the belt. It just kind of fell back onto Rollins. As a result, Rollins wins the belt, or retains the belt, or regains the belt that he already had. yeah, I'll run with that. He regained the belt he already had. And afterwards, you know, Ambrose was emotionally, and Rollins is celebrating. Triple H comes out to, you know, basically applauds him, says, "Look, you proved it. You proved you got it done." Yeah. You know, setting up to this match, the whole booking plan was Seth Rollins doesn't need the authority. Seth Rollins, and so much so that basically Kane and J&J Security and Stephanie all kind of walked. Well, Kane and J&J Security basically ridiculed Seth Rollins. Stephanie basically said, if you lose, you know, the future of the company is in doubt and your future is in doubt. But Triple H actually gave him a pep talk, which is rather admirable. Yeah, the weird part of that. Yes, Kat, it was admirable. Yes, he was actually loyal to his charge. That's admirable. Even though he's the bad guy. So now you're coming back down, huh? Well, wrapping things up. This was... It was an okay show. It wasn't spectacular. Like I said, I think with the ladder match they had at WrestleMania and the injuries that came out of that, they really kind of dialed back the ladder matches this time around. I mean, the Rollins-Ambrose match picked up most of the way through, but again, there wasn't a lot of the high, big spots off of it. Probably a good thing, you know. These guys do need to have... If you want these guys to have fairly long careers, you can't have them constantly taking those kind of bumps. You know, especially now with, you know, the concussion awareness and everything. I got to wonder the future of this pay-per-view. I mean, maybe they should just dial it back and have it be at the WrestleMania. Which they never really should have done. Well, I'm rambling at this point. You know, next week will be the House of M review and the Random Trade review. See you then.